All right, we are live, we are live. Okay, welcome to the coaching class. Welcome, just going to say hello to everyone that is on live. Good evening, Carrie Griffiths. Hope you're well. Good evening, David McGee. David is in the house. Hey, Gree, hey, Chloe, hey, Tom. Hope you guys are all well. Firstly, yes, I have muted you all. I will bring you on, some of you individually, through the course of the class. If you could let me know that you can hear me. I'm just going to check the chat box. If you could let me know that you can hear me. Chloe says she can't hear me. So guys, can you, the rest of you, let me know if you can hear me okay? Can you let me know if you can hear me? So the mic's on. So it says that my mic is currently, hey, there we go. You can hear me. Carrot, yeah, awesome. Okay, brilliant, fantastic. That is great. So let's dive straight into tonight's clash, shall we? So before we get into content, what I want to do is make sure that if you haven't already, make sure you got a notepad and a pen to hand so you can make lots of notes as you go along. Tonight, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be diving into the Miles Better Performance Coaching Program. So those of you that are watching here and watching live on Facebook, you're getting a sneak preview or a trailer into the coaching program. Tonight, we're going to be looking specifically at month one, which is the Achievement Accelerator, a 12-month program, which features, we look at month two, we look at clarity, month three, we look at motivation, month four, we look at energy, month five, psychology, month six, we look at your relationships, month seven, we look at habits, 8, productivity, 9, influence, 10, purpose, 11, confidence, and 12, planning. It's literally the 12 months that I've been building out for several years, and finally this is about to be launched. So this is a group of people that are testing the program before it officially rolls out in April. So thank you for joining us. I'm honored that you are here. There is a worksheet that accompanies this session. However, the worksheet will be with you tomorrow. So make sure you've got a pen and notepad to play along tonight. And then if you want to grab the worksheet tomorrow, those of you that are on the email list, you will get that email to you in the morning. And those of you that are not, if you drop me a direct message on Facebook, then I will send you that. So moving forward, tonight we're going to be looking at the achievement indicator evaluation. So this is something that I found from experience from the thousands of people that I've coached over the years, that the top 1% of high achievers in the world are doing this evaluation. Now more than ever, it's never been more important for us to evaluate and for us to reflect and for us to look at what our next moves are. Obviously, right now we're in a darkness in the world. Crazy to think that it's not just one particular economy, it's the whole world. But after darkness, there is dawn, right? So this tonight was designed and created before the coronavirus really kind of kicked in. But I truly believe that it's vitally important that we make sure that we're still working on ourselves. And now is an ideal time to do it, because you probably all have a lot of downtime to really think and reflect about your next moves. The program itself sponsors Medical Relief International. So Medical Relief International do some great work in Sri Lanka, in Jordan, in the Middle East. And a percentage of revenue from the program, specifically £1 per member on the base membership, which I'll talk about later, goes towards helping them do some incredible causes. So your membership goes towards a really good course. Next session, obviously, that is for our members, is April the 15th. So make sure those of you that are members already, that you've got Wednesday, April the 15th in your diary, 7 till 8:30 p.m. Make sure you've got that in your diary. So before we get into content, what I would like to do is ask the question, why are you here? Why are you here? Now, what I mean by why are you here is I'm going to presuppose that, although I know many of you on a personal level, I'm going to presuppose that the reason why you're here isn't just to support me in this new coaching venture. I'm going to presuppose that there is a greater reason that got you here, because I'm going to presuppose that right now, maybe you're here because maybe life's just not exactly the way you want it to be. Maybe these uncertain times that are happening at the moment have made you decide that you need to reevaluate yourself. Maybe if you think about pre-coronavirus, maybe you're at a point in your life where you weren't as happy as you would like, or maybe you were succeeding, or maybe you are succeeding really well in your life and in your business, but there's just a feeling like something's missing. Like you feel like you've got success, but you maybe don't feel fulfilled. Well, I'm going to presuppose that something right now in your life is not quite perfect. Otherwise you wouldn't be here tonight. So I'm going to presuppose that if that's where you are, where you ultimately want to be is a place where you're succeeding and you feel fulfilled. You're at a place where in times of uncertainty, and I'm going to tell you straight, today's been a day where I've really felt the uncertainty, right? I'm not going to lie, I'd be lying if I said I hadn't felt that today. But what I do know is, like I said, after darkness, there is dawn. And what I'm going to presuppose is the reason why you're here is because there's a level of uncertainty for you right now. And you want to know how you're going to navigate through it. How are you going to stay mentally strong? Because you need to stay mentally strong. There are people that are relying on you. There are people that need you to be mentally strong. Like Sati needs me and Sage needs me to be mentally strong. And there are times where I'm not always mentally strong. That's why I'm such an advocate for coaching. So I want to presuppose that the reason why you're here is right now something is not quite perfect, and you want to get to a place where you're succeeding in your life or in your business, and you feel fulfilled. You're in a place where you're getting up in the morning with a spring in your step. You're getting up in the morning not because the alarm clock tells you got to get up, but because you want to get up, because you know that what you're about to do today is something that you truly want to do. You get it with purpose. You get it with clarity. Like, you know exactly what you want to do. You know exactly why you want to do it, and you're motivated to do it. And there is no self-doubt just kicking you in the nuts like middle of the day, trying to throw you off. So I'm going to assume that that's kind of part of the reason why you're here. Now, so if that's where you want to be, and we've established maybe where you are now, then, well, I would say that you maybe need a new vehicle to get you there. And the vehicle that I'm here to talk to you about tonight is coaching. You see, for me, the reason why coaching is the best vehicle to get you from where you are now to where you want to be is because, well, saying it as it is, the most famous sports stars in the world, the Cristiano Ronaldos, the Michael Jordans, all have coaches. In the world of sport, it is a norm that if you want to get to your next level, it's very normal to have a coach. But yet, in the everyday world, that's not something that people think of. In the everyday world, coaching is kind of a nice to have. Oh yeah, I know I'd like to have a coach, but it doesn't feel like a need to have because I need to spend money on Facebook ads, or I need to spend money on Instagram ads, or I need to learn this business thing. But like I said, like, success without fulfillment is ultimate failure. So, and now more than ever, this is vitally important that you get yourself a coach. And the reason why I say that is not a plug for you to buy coaching from me. I say that because we're in some challenging times. Like, I presuppose that it's going to get harder. And the best way to deal with these hard times is through having a stronger mindset. When I talk about mindset, I talk about emotional black belt, not emotional blackmail. Don't get it twisted. I talk about emotional black belt. And what I mean by emotional black belt is emotional black belt. I'm just going to pause my YouTube. Hey Google, turn off device.
To turn on your Android phone or tablet,
be quiet.
Press and hold the power button for a few seconds.
Thank you. what happens when you have a device and you're recording in the kitchen. So the point I'm making here is times are going to get harder, right? And it's so important that you have a coach to navigate. You're going to have to wait. It is literally... my Google device. If you have a Google device, don't do a webinar near your Google device because it will go crazy. The point here I'm making is through these difficult times, it's so important that you have a support team of people around you. As Les Brown says, you can't see the big picture whilst living in the frame. And for me, coaching is one of the most powerful ways to help you navigate through these challenging times, right? So look, here's another thing that I want to kind of point out, like holidays. This is a really interesting thing. A lot of people, when they think about making themselves feel better, will immediately think, let's book a holiday. In today's day and age, we can't now do that. Some people are thinking, you know, let's buy a new car. With what's going on in this situation, in this economy, that might not be something that you can do. But then at the same time, how many times have you been on holiday, got a new phone, upgraded your car, and then thought, this doesn't make me feel as good as I thought it would? And that's where coaching comes in. That's where developing yourself. That's what I meant by emotional black belt. Because generally, most people are going about their lives right now with an emotional white belt. What that means is they're going about their days with a level of emotional mastery that is weak. So when chaos comes in, when struggle comes in, hey, I'm going to admit, I didn't have my emotional black belt on a little bit this afternoon. I took it off. I downgraded a few belts this afternoon. I'm not going to stand here and pretend that I didn't. It's the reason why I have my own coach. I took my emotional black belt off this afternoon. I kind of parked it. I took it off the back of my head and felt sorry for myself a little bit. I'm going to hate people that will stand here and deliver these classes and pretend like they don't do that. You know, I kind of was beating myself up today, but I'm aware of it. And for me, one of the great things about coaching is it enables you to bounce back and deal with difficult situations a lot faster than most people will. When most people crumble, when you have an emotional black belt, you can break through things. As Wayne Dyer says, you change the way you look at things, your things you look at change. So we have a problem in today's society. We have a pandemic, and the pandemic is not just one of a virus of physical proportions, it's one of emotional proportions. People buying more than they need to kind of make sure they've got enough, and then they're not thinking of other people. For me, emotional mastery, emotional black belt is also about making sure that you've got everything, not just that you need physically, but you've got everything you need emotionally to make sure that you look after not just you, but also people that are around you. Like Tony Robbins says, success without fulfillment truly is ultimate failure. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to make sure you stay to the end, because at the end tonight, there is going to be some bonuses. So there's going to be some bonuses that I'm going to give at the end of the session tonight. But what I would like to do is I'd like to ask your permission to pitch to you at the end of the class. So I would love it. I'm just going to pop out the slides just for a second because they kind of froze. I would love it if you give me permission to pitch to you at the end of the class. So if you could let me know, it literally will be a couple of minutes, but I believe in really authentically, congruently asking for permission before doing that. So I'd like for your permission to kind of explain what the next step is once you've watched this beta session, because many of people have messaged me and said, you know, how does it work? What's the next step? I get this is a beta session. I really enjoyed the last one. What happens after it? Then I'd like your permission to talk about what the next step is. So great. Okay, cool. Awesome. Fine by me. You've already pitched me. Yeah, there's a few people in here that obviously are already members. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's really cool. Really kind of you. Here's what David McGee is saying about the coaching. I'm truly honored. David is a member. David is on the program. I coached David just yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Time has got a funny way of distorting itself. And David's words, Miles is as inspirational to me as Tony Robbins. For me, I'm a big believer that something I heard athlete Chris Akabusi say many years ago. He said, I don't look up to people, I look into people. And for a very long time, I've been looking into Tony Robbins. And so for me, it has been almost my mission probably over the past decade to be able to do my work at an incredibly high standard. And for me, Tony's been my mentor for many years and is doing what what we as coaches aspire to do at an incredibly high standard. So for David to say that, it's truly an honor. The check's in the post, David. You know the drill. So we're looking tonight at the achievement indicator evaluation. That is what we're looking at this evening. So what I would like for you to do, make sure you've got a notepad to hand. Obviously, this is the model. This is month 1 that we're looking at. Obviously, there you go. That kind of gives you an idea of what the 12 months will look like when you join the program. But we're looking specifically tonight at the achievement indicator evaluation. There is a worksheet, as I said, that will be over to you tomorrow. Every single month, just so you know, in the program, there's a brand new worksheet. Last 2 weeks ago, we did the 5x5 achievement multiplier method. If you haven't got that worksheet, drop me a message and I'll send that to you. The daily effectiveness planner, which is the daily planner that I use to plan my day. If you haven't got a copy of that, make sure you message me and I will give you a copy of that as well. So we're going to look tonight at the achievement indicator evaluation. So we're going to dive right in. What we're going to do in this section is we're going to look at achievement rituals. We're going to look at risks and blind spots, and we're going to look at the achievement indicator evaluation. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with the 5 rules of achievement, or the 5 achievement rituals. So I've found that if you apply these 5 rules or 5 achievement rituals, you are going to accelerate yourselves towards the achievement and the attainment of your goal so much faster. So what I'm going to share with you in this is incredibly common sense, but you see, common sense, as Brendan Bouchard says, is not always common practice, right? Common sense is not always common practice. It's common sense to eat more broccoli than donuts. God, I could murder a donut right now. But it is not common practice to eat more broccoli for a lot of people than donuts. It's why 99% of the planet is not in shape, right? Doesn't have the ideal health that they want. So these 5 rituals, if you apply them, as common sense as they are, you're probably going to hear them like, yeah, I know that, I know that, I know that. But what I want to make sure that you know about this program is it's about turning your common sense into common practice, because knowing and doing are 2 totally different things, right? Knowing and doing are 2 totally different things. Like, you can know what to do to put yourself in a peak state and put yourself in the best level of energy possible, but when shit hits the fan, do you do it? Because there's times where I don't. And these rituals help me to snap back in, and they're really, really important. So make sure you've got a pen and a pad to hand, because we're going to start to go really fast through the rest of this session. So the first one, the first ritual, the first achievement ritual, number 1, is review your targets daily. Review your targets daily. Here is Exhibit A on the wall behind you. You will see what is called my battle board. I have one, Sati has one. And this is our written goals on magic whiteboard in the kitchen. Now, this is there because I truly believe that you get what you focus on. So by having these things here every day means I'm forced to focus on those things. So some people, you know, I used to be a person that would write my goals. I'd write my goals down once a week, and then I started to do it once a day, and then I started to do it twice a day. And I'm a big believer you've got to do what works for you, but I do think that you do need to have it in your focus a lot. So one of the things I found that works really well for me is I write my goals down in the morning, and then what I'll do is throughout the course of the day, a couple of times a day, I'll stand in the kitchen when I'm having like a coffee break, and I'll stand in front of this board, and I'll just look at each goal and just ask myself the question, where am I with this goal? Where am I with this goal? What progress am I making with this goal? What habits am I taking with this goal? What actions must be done today to move me towards these goals? Because a lot of people will rightly say, a good friend of mine and mentor, Dan Bradbury, would say, you know, goals are pointless. What's really important is the habits, right? So that's what I say. That's why it's called achievement rituals, because the habit of reviewing the goals every day is more likely to get you to achieve the goal. Yeah. If this is making sense, if this is resonating with you, could you just type make sense? Could you type that in the chat box and let me know? Just type make sense. I just want to make sure that we keep the engagement high throughout the class. So just type make sense if that makes sense. And also, could you just comment and let me know, do you review your targets daily at the moment? Do you write your goals down daily? How often do you do that? I'd be really interested to know how you do that. Do you have a battle board like that in the kitchen? If you don't, I highly recommend that you do. But if you could let me know that this is resonate with you and this is making sense. Number 2, share your targets and goals with key peers. Now, keyword is key peers because frankly, there are friends and family that I don't share my biggest goals and grandiose dreams with just because they don't dream big. And the conversation just kind of falls a bit on deaf ears. But there are key peers that I share my goals and dreams with who I know are very supportive, like super supportive of me fulfilling and achieving and moving towards embarking on big dreams. And they've got big dreams too, some really good friends of mine. And we have like a little power crack commando unit where we share our big goals and dreams with each other. So question I want to ask you, and type in the box and let me know, do you have key peers that you share your goals with? Maybe put their names in the chat box. Like I have some really key people that are in my life that I share my goals with. So do you have some key peers? If you don't, you want to think about who could be one or two people that maybe you don't know, or you do know that you'd like to know, people that you don't know that you'd like to know, that you could share your goals with. One of the greatest pieces of advice that I've learned about friendships is you got to reach out for new friends. I can't remember where I heard that, but reach out for new friends. What that means is not sideways, not down. You need to reach up for new friends, because sometimes, like, for you to achieve your next level of success, not only is it going to require you to have a coach and a mentor and someone that's ahead of you, you need people that are dreaming bigger, people that are dreaming in the way that you want to dream. So it's really important that you share your goals with some key peers. I'm just going to read the comments and just see what everyone is saying. Tom says, yeah, he's got some David Reed. David says, only share goals with partner. Highly recommend, David, that you think about finding some other people. Probably, I aim for probably 4 to 5 people that are like my crack commando unit to share goals with. I think you want about 4 to 5 people, no more than that, otherwise it's too many. But 4 to 5 people you definitely want to have. Gree says, 2 peers, one is my NLP teacher, this is my friend and training colleague, awesome. Carrie, Fabio, friend Nicola and Chloe, awesome. What about the rest of you that are on the call? Let me know who you are sharing your goals with. Okay, next. You want to schedule what I call skill development. What this means is you want to make sure that you're upgrading your skills. So let's say that one of your goals is to speak on stages. You want to deliver your own seminars and workshops. You want to sell from the stage, and you've not done that before, and maybe you're fearful of standing on stage, but you know that it's what you want to do. Schedule skill development. Go and get yourself on a public speaking course. Like, go and learn how to do that. Let's say you want to write a book. Go and spend time with people that are already writing books. Go and learn how to write a book. I've been on courses to learn how to write books, and I'd said I was going to write for years and never did. And then I went on a writing course, and then, you know, I'd written 25,000 words in 5 weeks, right? I said I wanted to speak on stages. I'd never done that. Went on a public speaking course, and then I've delivered something like 55 seminars around the UK in the past 18 months. So when you schedule skill development, what that means is you're scheduling time to do it. So if you say, oh yeah, I want to write a book, cool. Well, you need to schedule time to do that. Like, as in, first step might be schedule the time to find a course on public speaking. Schedule the time to find a course on book writing. And then schedule when you're going to go on that course. For us to move to our next level of success, it does require, repetition is the mother of skill, right? But sometimes we need somebody who has a greater skill level than we do. Learning to drive was skill development. Like, you physically can't do that without an instructor. And what most people do is they try and figure things out for themselves rather than just upgrade and accelerate faster by getting someone that can help them to do that. Next, schedule actions. What that means is you want to schedule the time to take action. This is not my Google Calendar. This is a random Google Calendar I found online. But if you saw my Google, in fact, let me see if I can show you. If you saw my Google Calendar, so I plan my day. It's kind of just to give you an idea. Can you see that? Maybe you can see that. So, like, color coded, everything's in there. plans, pings on my watch. Everything that is important to me is scheduled. I spent time with a mentor several years ago. I had an incredible PA, and she helped me to. I'm just going to say hello. Hi Ian, hi Ruth. Hope you guys are well. Thanks for joining us. She taught me. She said, "Marshall, your calendar's a mess. This is what you need to do." And she just showed me about color coding and breaks and net time and all this amazing stuff. And now I have this diary, which is planned in such a way so that pretty much everything that I plan to do gets done because I've scheduled the time for it. You know, like if I talk you through some of the things that are on there, I have, you know, half an hour in the morning, I'm doing my journal, writing my goals out. The gym's on there. Personal development time is on there. Going for a walk is on there. Thinking time, 20 minutes is on there. Power naps on there. Time to call a friend is scheduled in, because these things, if they're not scheduled, they don't get done, right? So full disclosure, this call and these calls are not designed to just kind of teach you about how you can achieve more in business. And like, this is holistic growth, right? Like if you're not winning, if you're winning in business, but then you're not winning at home, what's the point, right? If your health's great, but your financial situation's a mess, that's not good. If your financial situation's amazing, but your health's not good, what's the point? You know, this is about winning in every area. This is about winning in every area. So it's so important that you schedule your actions. Now, what I want to know, post in the chat box. I'd love to know, are you using calendars like that? Does that frighten the hell out of you? Is it something you already do? Post in the comments box. I'd love to know, how are you currently planning your time? Do you do that already? Ian says, hey Ian, hope you're well. Ian says, review vision and goals each morning and then set daily actions. So one of the things that I used to do is I used to have kind of like, I used to use to-do lists and plan my day in the morning. What I tend to do now, I have an app, and this is an app that I get all my clients to use. I have this app called Commit to 3. Can you see that? Maybe you can. It's an app called Commit to 3, which alludes to the fact that you only have 3 key commitments in a day. So I have recurring actions in my calendar. So things like, you know, time with Sage, time with Sati, going to the gym, ringing a friend. Those things are like on repeat on the calendar every day. And then I use Commit to 3 for my 3 big things for the day that I do. And what I generally do is I put the Commit to 3 in the night before, and then I sleep on those 3, and I think about, is that truly the best 3? Is that the best use of my time for the day? So really, really recommended Google Calendar and Commit to 3. Highly recommend that. Chloe says I use calendars, but I write my days down because I'm old fashioned. Good for you. Good for you. The fact is that it's written down, which is amazing. Carrie, use my calendar for everything. Agree. Plan my coaching sessions and training classes. The rest is a mess. Yeah, Google Calendar, like I said, is really good. Calendly I use for my coaching calls. David says I use a pen and pencil and diary for client bookings. Don't schedule anything else. Need to make time for planning my day. I highly recommend, David. I know you're old school as well. I know you love paper and pencil, but I highly recommend maybe considering testing out using something like Calendly, which obviously I know you're familiar with. Because what I've found is there's certain technology that can be a burden, and there's certain technology that's really helpful. And for me, having the ability to have clients now be able to move sessions themselves and cancel and reschedule and all that is really handy, because I don't have to physically do anything. I just look at my diary and go, oh, David's moved his coaching session. Well, that was a slot that was taken, and now I can do something else. So find that that's really helpful, because then you literally don't have to think about that stuff, and then you can focus on the high income producing activities. Next one, we were on that one for a while, is adopt patience. This is something that I'm working on. This is really something that I'm working on. Patience is so important, because sometimes, have you ever wanted to pursue a goal, had all the excitement to do it, then you've made some forward step, haven't got the result that you expected, and then you just kind of throw your toys out of the bathwater, or you thought you were going to get a better result at the point at this, like let's say you were doing a program and you thought you were going to sign up 20 people and you signed 2, right? Sometimes I believe that it's not about lowering our expectations, but it's about having more patience. And that if we're talking about specifically business, you need to have more patience. Sometimes things take longer. Like I think it's Brian Tracy says, expect everything that you want to take twice as long. You can apply that to your health and fitness goals as well. So many people that I know over the years have like quit the gym because they didn't get the result that they wanted in 3 months or 6 weeks. But yeah, they didn't actually know how long it would take for them to get that result. Like they didn't actually calculate the amount of workouts and the diet required to hit that goal. So if you have like a revenue target or a number of clients that you want to hit or a body shape goal that you want to get, do you know how long it will take you to get you there? Do you actually know the specific numbers? And have you also factored in things like a viral pandemic? So I believe in patience. I believe in if you're here and you've got a business, then be in it for the long term, be in it for the long game. Things right now may not be going your way, like you may be firefighting in your business, but if you're in the business for the long term, have some patience. This too shall pass, but truly patience is a powerful thing. So my recommendation is where you can have a little bit more patience. So the 5 points then, just to kind of recap for you, make sure you got them written down. Daily review of your goals, peer support, having support for your goals, scheduling time to work on those goals, skill development time. So getting yourself enrolled in courses and programs and seminars that you know is going to help you to upskill and to accelerate to your results faster. And the 5th one is patience. It's so important that you don't just kind of put a goal on your battle board and then if you haven't achieved it within a week, you kind of go, well, I'm going to change to a new goal. Patience is really critical in any endeavor that you're wanting to work on. Okay, I want to talk to you now about risks and blind spots. I planned this part before the current crisis that we're experiencing at the moment, but I think this is so important to discuss in today's situation. It's called the DeLorean method, because I'm a big Back to the Future fan. And the DeLorean method is really kind of a playful way of thinking about, imagine that we fast forward to the end of the year. Imagine that you had a list of goals written down, and imagine that Doc Brown and Marty McFly pick you up in the time machine and take you forward to December 31st, and they say, oh, Carrie, you were like, oh, how did I do this year? Did I achieve all my goals and what I wanted to do? And they say, oh, I'm sorry to tell you that you didn't. In fact, you didn't do any of them. And the point of the DeLorean method is to ask yourself the questions. If you got to the end of the year and you hadn't achieved what you set out to achieve, aside from the absolute freak of a situation which you're experiencing at the moment, what was within your control that prevented you from achieving the results you want? So what this presupposes is, if any of you have seen Back to the Future, if you haven't, don't worry, I'll fill you in. But when Doc Brown takes Marty McFly forward in time into Back to the Future 2, the family situation's not good and Marty's life's not good and his son's a mess. And all that's happened because of certain things that Marty did over the past sort of, however long it was, 40, 50 years, I'm forgetting, I should know, I've seen those movies a million times, that caused a ripple effect, that there was a lack of the right actions and too many of the wrong actions that caused that event. It wasn't just a random failure, it happened for various reasons. So like saying it as it is, if right now your health is not the way you want it to be, there's actions that you've said maybe that you were going to do that you haven't done. And that's not today, that's like the past month, 6 months, 12 months, whatever, right? If your financial situation's not the way you want it to be, there is outside things that, yes, have affected that. And now more than ever, you could say there are outside factors completely out of your control. But what I want you to do for this particular bit, for the DeLorean method, is I want you to think about, sorry, we've just kind of skipped ahead to the end there, is I want you to think about these two questions. So the questions are, if you didn't achieve your goals this year, I want you to list out all the things that were within your control that got in the way. So I want you to, the first thing I want you to do is I want you to list out, like right now, this is a coaching session, right? So you're going to be coached, you've got to do the work. I'm not just going to stand here and talk at you for an hour and a half. You've got to, this is designed to be a teach and do, otherwise you could just watch videos on YouTube. So I want you to list out all the things that if you're at the end of the year and you saw the end of the year and you didn't achieve your goals, the things that were within your control that got in the way, not the coronavirus, the things that were within your control that you didn't do. So I want you to come up with at least 5 things. So full transparency, when I think about this, if you ask me to answer this, if I think of why I would not achieve my goals, I wasn't clear enough about what I wanted. I didn't spend enough time focusing on the purpose of my goals. I made my goals all about the money and not about serving other people. Had the wrong routine, didn't have a peer group to support me, didn't look after my physical health, so therefore that was compromised. I didn't have a coach to help me to upgrade my mindset. I was making personal development a random thing rather than reinvesting in myself every single month. I wasn't getting the right skills to market my business appropriately, for example, right? So what I want you to do is go ahead and do that exercise now. I'm going to give you about 60 seconds. It is 7:37. And then what I'd like to do, type in the chat box once you're done. Time starts now. So make sure you're getting these written down. You can type them in the chat box if you like, but I think it'd be really good if you have them written somewhere so that you can review them yourself after the class. So list out all the things that if you're at the end of the year that you didn't achieve your goals, what got in the way? And once you've got at least 5, type in the box. Cool. A few of you are saying done. Excellent. Awesome. Very good. Those of you that are done, move on to the next one. Now I'd like for you to list out all the things that were potentially out of your control that got in the way. So now list out all the things that were potentially out of your control that got in the way. I'm sure the C word will be on that list. This is your chance to have a bit of a bitch and a moan of all the things that are out of your control that could potentially get in the way. I'd like for you to write down the things that are out of your control that could potentially get in the way. Go ahead and do that now. 60 seconds, off you go. Aim for 5, aim for 5. And once you're done, type done in the chat box. Alrighty, so we're going to move forward for the benefit of time, but make sure if you've not got 5 that you get 5 down at some point this evening. Okay, moving on. We're now going to get into the core of what we are here for, the achievement indicator evaluation. So what I would like for you to do, make sure that you have a fresh piece of paper for this. As I mentioned, you are going to get a worksheet to fill in for this, but I think it's really important that you go along and fill this in now while we're live on the class. And I'm going to get you to pop in a comment in the chat box to let me know as you go anyway. The purpose of this is to really just get you aware of where you are now. You know, so many people say they want to achieve a certain goal, but they don't know where they are. They don't know where they're starting. It's like saying, I want to drive to Edinburgh. Well, where are you now? I don't know. It's really important that you know where you are now. It's like, oh, I want to, let's use the example again. I want to be a speaker on stage in front of 5,000 people. Cool. Well, when was the last time, what was your last speaking gig? I haven't done one yet. Okay, cool. So maybe it would be a good idea to just get one speaking gig in front of 2 or 3 people, because that's progress. So many people are looking big and dreaming big, which is great. But then once you've dreamed big, you obviously need some form of action step to move you forward. And a lot of people, what they do is they do the dream big and then they get overwhelmed by the size of it. And then they go, oh, I'm never going to do it. Rather than just kind of just like ticking it off. The people that are in great shape are just in great shape because they work out on a consistent basis. There's no rocket science to it. And this tonight is no rocket science. It's really simple stuff, but it's powerful. So let's dive in. So the first section we're going to look at is your health. First question, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would rate my health right now as. So the key thing with the scale through this evaluation is it's your scale. It's not you compared to somebody else. It's you compared to you. All right. So 10 is your 10. So that presupposes that there is a 10 for you. So at some point in your life, you may have been a 10 or you may have been near a 10. But if you haven't been near a 10 in your life, then that's a visualization for the future of you as a 10. 1 is you with the worst health that you've ever had possible. What I want you to do is I want you to be kind to yourself here. So if you truly feel like you're a 1, maybe kind of think, am I really a 1? You know, like, is my health really the worst it could possibly be? If you're saying I'm already a 9 or a 10, be honest with yourself and go, but could I raise my standards even further? So on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your current health now? Pick a number and then either put your number in the chat box or just put done. We're just going to blast through these. Next one is the first. So whatever number that you've picked, what I want you to do is I want you to then decide the first action that I would need to take for me to achieve my best health ever this year is, and I want you to come up with an answer. So on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you rate yourself now? Let's say you say that you're a 5. Then the next question is, the first action that I would need to take for me to achieve my best health ever is, the keywords being the first action. So let's say you're a 5 and you make the decision that you want to be a 10, you want to be your 10, and you feel that your 10 is you running a marathon. You've never done that before. Then your first action may be to start running. If let's say you're not running at the moment, then say my first action would be tomorrow I will go for a run for 20 minutes. As crazy as it sounds, that is a compound effect that will eventually, if you gradually build that time up, would lead for you to being able to do a marathon. Now, it may not be in the time frame that you want. Let's say you want to do it in September. You might not be ready. They might not even be running marathons in September. Hopefully they are. I'm planning to do one this year. But the point is, what is the first action? So I'm just seeing what's in the comments. So Gree says, 7, stop eating chocolate. Now, this is interesting, right? Because one of the things I've learned about health is when a lot of people think about improving their health, they think about removing things. And I always say that the best way to improve your health is to add new things in. So although I'm supportive of people cutting out things and sugary snacks and things like that, I'm actually more supportive of making future-based positive moves. So let's say somebody privately here has said it would be to not have a glass of wine, right? I'm not going to say who said that. Someone said, do not have a glass of wine. I say that's cool, but not having a glass of wine is like the physical health equivalent of cutting expenses. Cutting expenses is going to keep you at the same level, but it isn't necessarily going to create best health ever. Just removing wine or chocolate is not going to create best health ever. Best health ever, saying it as it is going to require a level of exercise that maybe currently is outside of your comfort zone. Is this making sense? So make sure you're really honest with yourself about the fact that, holy shit, like best health ever, well, that would mean I would need to be, I don't know, doing mixed martial arts or CrossFit, or I'd need to be running 7 days a week, or whatever it is for you. I want you to focus less on cutting things out, because that is part of it, potentially, but more think about what new habits do I need to add in for me to raise my standards. If this is making sense, just kind of say, yeah, making sense, perfect, amazing. Amazing. So David says, I'm going to do Couch to 5K again, starting tomorrow. Well done, David. That's fantastic. Nice. Chloe says, make my mental health a priority. Yeah, so for me, when I think of health, I'm not just talking exercise. I probably spend over the course of a day about 2.5 hours working on my physical body, and I probably spend about 2.5 hours working on my mind. And that's because I've looked at other people that I look into, and I've gone, what do they do? And that's what they do. So I've gone, well, if that's what they do, if that's their standard, I want to have that standard too. So think about what will raise it to a new level rather than what do we just need to cut out? Make sense? Cool. Okay, next. Okay, next. Let's talk about your career and business or work. First question is, how well aligned is my business, career, or mission aligned to my overall life mission? So how well aligned, is my business or career, how well is it aligned to my overall life mission? So this was kind of done like as if you were filling it in, forgive me. So again, I want you to, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being your life mission is fully aligned with your business and career. So I have a client who's a personal trainer who's always aspired to be a personal trainer. He has his own personal training studio. He's been a fitness enthusiast for years and has gradually gone from being a personal trainer to owning his own range of facilities. And he says that that is the way that he feels is best aligned with his mission. His mission is to help and serve people. And he would probably rate himself as a 9 or a 10. He's doing financially well. His clients get great results. He feels really good. They feel really good. So there's real alignment there. So I want you to think about, on a scale of 1 to 10, how well is your business or career aligned to your overall life mission? Fill that in. Think about that. And then the next question is, the first action I would need to take for me to feel even more aligned to my overall life mission is, and what is the first step? And I'd love for you to type that in the box. Let's say you were a 9 or a 10, as my client is. Then again, think, well, what would I have to do to make it 11? Like, what would I have to do to make it even higher? Because there's always another level. If we get to a point where we feel like we're the finished article, eventually we're going to go backwards, because you're either moving forwards or you're moving backwards. We can never stay in the same place. So Ian says 8, fantastic. So think about what is the action that you would need for you to take, for you to feel even more aligned, for you to be a 9, for you to be a 10. What is the first action that you would need to take? Chloe says, challenge my fears and take more scary steps to grow my business and myself at the same time. Cool. What would be that as a specific step, Chloe? Because here's one of the things I've found that work really well with this particular exercise is when you are very clear about the specific action that you would take. So to use that as an example, because I think this is relevant for everybody, Chloe's statement of challenge my fears and take more scary steps to grow my business and myself at the same time is a statement. And many of you may find that you do that. So some people have said like, unsure of first action. Agree said, find a new job. So my challenge would be for those people, if I may coach you, is Chloe, I would say, Chloe's then elaborated and said, approach more clients directly to increase sales and improve my confidence in doing so. Amazing. So what I would say to you with that, Chloe, is approaching how many clients and by when. Because approaching clients, you could approach one and you've achieved your goal, right? But you go, oh no, that's not it. Okay, cool. So how many is it? So you don't need to answer now. I knew you were going to say you were too vague. So what I found is the best way for you to get clear on this is to just pick one specific action. So Ian said, create daily content. Cool. How much content? What type of content? Is it audio? Is it video? Is it written? So for me, the answer to that, for me personally, Ian, is I create 4 videos every week, 4 brand new videos every week, and they get posted every week. That's it. So when you have a number attached to your action, it makes it easier for you to quantify. Bree said, find a new job. Cool. So the first action you would take is, I would make sure I'm applying for 10 jobs every day, because obviously getting a job is a result of an input, and the input is going to be you taking action. So think about, as we go through this, that the likelihood of you achieving your goal will be directly correlated to how specific you are about an action. So a person said, fitness, I'm going to use fitness as an example again, because it's easy. I want to lose weight. Cool. What's the first thing you could do? I could join a gym. Cool. Great. Do it. That's an action. Oh yeah, but do I not need to go to the gym? Yeah, you do, but the first action is just to join. Just get that done first. Don't overwhelm yourself and think, I've got to join, then I've got to get the clothes, and then I've got to go down. No. First, you said the first action was join the gym, so go online, join up, and there you go. First action done. Sometimes we overcomplicate. We add too many pieces in when we can simplify it down, and it makes it less overwhelming. Okay, next, I want us to talk about love. How would I rate my connection to my significant other? Or if you are single, how well would you rate the level of energy I put in towards meeting a significant other on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 being your connection with your significant other is the best that it could possibly be. 1 being it's not good at all. On the other side of the equation, 10 being you're putting lots of effort into putting yourself into the right environments where you're likely to meet a significant other that you would want to truly be with. 1 being, I'm so focused on my career and my business, I don't have time for that, when secretly you're yearning for it. Where would you rate yourself? So think about a number there. And then the next question, once you've done that, is the first action I would need to take for me to feel even more connected to my partner is, or the first action I would need to take to increase my ability to attract my ideal partner is, and I would like for you to think about that answer as well. Like I said, with these particular actions, you don't need to post them in the box. You can. It's helpful for me because then I can coach you through it. But it's really just, it's designed for you to self-evaluate and self-reflect. Okay, and when you're done, just feel free to type Done. Okay, next, we're going to move on. Okay, now we're going to look at daily state or mood. One of the things that I've learned over the years is sometimes my daily state and mood can fluctuate. There's many reasons why daily states and moods fluctuate. Most people allow their mood to be dictated by things that are going on around them. Obviously, we're in very challenging times at the moment. I'd be lying, I'm going to be fully transparent. I'd be lying if I said that my mood has always been in the green today. It hasn't. However, there are certain things that I do to get myself into a better mood, this class being one of them. Exercise is another, many meditation, walking. I went to the gym this morning, went for a jog, had a session with my coach today. So some key things that I do to help to maintain a good overall daily average state or mood. So first question is, how would you rate your overall daily average state or mood? 10 being it's always the best it could possibly be, and 1 being it's in the red. Where would you rate? And then once you've done that, I want you to answer the question, the first action I would need to take for me to be in the best state or mood possible on a more consistent basis is. And so full transparency, I have, I'm replanning my working day based on the fact that I'm going to be spending a lot more time at home, and I'm creating like a coronavirus daily plan, which is really going to be designed to make sure that I'm managing my state much better throughout the course of the day. So there's going to be some things I'm doing. I'm going to double up on meditation. I'm going to double up on yoga. I'm going to double up on exercise in the house. I'm going to double up on some home workouts. I'm going to double up on some personal development. And I'm going to double down on calls, like Zoom calls to friends. So I'm really going to plan, make sure that I use this time really effectively. So tell me, what is the first action that you would need to take for you to be in your best state or mood on a more consistent basis? We've got some numbers here. Cool. Okay, so there's some private answers here that I'm not going to kind of say out, but I just want to acknowledge you for putting in comments and putting in things there, especially around the love and relationship one I'm noticing. Nice. Ian says, make time for me consistently. So Ian, my challenge to you is to quantify that. Make time for you consistently. So how much time per day and at what specific time will you have time for you? And also what specific activity or activities will you do that constitute you making time for you? The more specific you are, the more likely you are to get it. Tom says, slow down. Tom, the same answer goes back to you that I've just said to Ian. Slow down how, for what purpose, what does slow down mean? By slow down when, how much by, how long for? Got to be more specific, got to be more specific. Otherwise it just will become that thing that you said that you were going to do once on a group coaching call, right? Really important that you're more specific. Okay, next. Okay, personal growth. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your personal growth over the past 12 months? How would you rate your personal growth over the past 12 months? And then the next question is, the first action I would need to take for me to feel I'm growing even more than I have in the past year is, so how would you rate your personal growth over the past 12 months? And the first action I would need to take for me to feel I'm growing even more in the past year is, so I'd like for you to fill that in. So make sure you fill that in. Now, there's a few people here. I'm not going to single you out, but just with love, there's a couple of people here that are present. You know who you are, who are not actively playing along with the coaching. I just want to make sure that if you guys are here, this is not for me, this is for you, right? If you're going to watch this session and you're not going to actually do the exercises, then why are you here, right? If you're doing the exercise and you're just not filling in the chat, that's cool. But I just want to make sure that if you're here, be fully present. If you're watching this session, but you're doing something else, probably the reason why you need to pay attention to this session. Like, I'm a big believer that, like, I'm all for net time. So net time is going for a run and listening to a podcast. Like, that's great. Multitasking, like writing an email while studying something, for me, that's too much of the same brain space on two different things. You're going to split your attention and you're not going to get the result that you want. So if you're here and you're just not responding to the chat because you're making so many notes, then I respect that. But if you're here and you're not fully present, then give yourself the evening to focus on the other thing you're doing and watch the recording, right? Go and watch the recording some other day, because this is for you. So if you're going to be here, if you're going to log in, which I have massive respect for you for, then be fully present. Not for me, but for you. Just wanted to say that. Okay, cool. So some of the answers that have come in. Thank you for the honesty, Chloe. Chloe said she's splitting her attention between this coursework and this webinar. I would say don't call it a webinar, Coach Chloe. A webinar is very much a person speaking at you and you don't do anything for the time. This is a coaching call, right? So make sure that you are being present. If you really need to do that coursework, then watch the recording. I highly recommend that you do that. Ian says block out time for personal development 3 times a week. Well, this is one, Ian. This session is one, so that's one ticked off, the fact that you've been here tonight. So good on you for doing that. Well done. Okay, let's move forward, shall we? Okay, relationships. How would you rate your connection to the people you love most on a scale of 1 to 10? This is different from your significant other. This is different from the relationship with your significant other. How would you rate your connection to the people you love most? This is your children. This is your extended family, extended friends. How would you rate your connection to the people that you love most on a scale of 1 to 10? And then once you fill that in, the first action I would need to take for me to feel even more connected to the people I love most is, and I'd like for you to fill that in as well. And then pop that in the chat box. Let me know what comes up for you. Make sure you pop that in the chat box. Nice. Tom says spend more time on family activities. So Tom, I would say how much time on family activities, how much time per day, how much time per week, what will those family activities be? When will you do those family activities? The more specific you are, the more you are likely to commit and follow through. David, love your response. David's just talked there about contact with kids and just putting a reminder on his phone to do that. Make sure you do that. Do that now, David. Do that right now. That's vitally important. Tom says, got it, but I'm a slow typist. That's cool. Cool. Okay, awesome. Awesome. Some great responses there. Okay, make sure you've got that first action down before you move on to the next one. Okay, cool. Next, which I believe is the final one. Final one is finances. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your current financial status? On a scale of 1 to 10. And then the first action I would need to take for me to improve my financial status is, ignore the 1 to 10 there, that shouldn't be there. So how would you rate your current financial status on a scale of 1 to 10? And the first action that I would need to take for me to improve my financial status is, and I'd like for you to fill that in as well. Okay, what have we got in the chat? Get a bookkeeper. No more impulse shopping. So here's another thing. We talked earlier about wine and chocolate and things like that. Getting a bookkeeper, yeah, great. But one of the things that I've learned from one of my mentors is, and obviously right now we're in an economic situation which we're not going to get into because that will just be a minefield, right? And I also don't want to, when I use the term pretending that this situation isn't existing, I don't mean that in a way that you're going to go, fuck you, Miles, it is here, it is real, this is not make-believe, we can't pretend. But based on the fact that when darkness happens in the world, in the economy, there is always a time eventually where we come out of it. If we were out of it, what would be a forward step that you could take? So, for instance, when I think about one of the things one of my mentors says about money is he always says, Miles, if you're thinking about money, worrying about money, the first thing that you need to do is you need to think about how you can increase income. So a lot of people think about reducing expenses, which is an incredibly important step. But once you've reduced expenses, there's only so many expenses you can reduce, and many of which you need, right? After that, it's about increasing sales. If you're thinking about business, or if you're in a job, it's thinking about how can you add more value to that job so that they give you a pay rise. Ultimately, the first step to becoming better financially is to increase income. And that, for me, when I think about how do you do that, ultimately, for me, it's about adding more value to the world. The more value you add to the world with the right strategy behind it, you will be financially rewarded. Looking at the numbers, monitoring it, getting a bookkeeper is great things to kind of keep you level. But if you really want to grow wealth, what I've learned from my mentors, some like literally millionaires and billionaires that I've spent close time with, is it's about, first step is increase income. So people that right now are in a scared state because of what's going on, ultimately haven't created a situation where they have so much financial security they can weather this incredible storm. Me included, right? Me included. So most people's biggest problem right now is not actually the coronavirus. The problem is that they didn't prepare for this type of scenario. And if you went back with a DeLorean 3 years and we all said this is going to happen, we probably would have all made different financial decisions to prepare for this time in February, March 2020, right? Is this making sense? So, and we would have done that by going, how can we make more money? How can we make more money? How can we then save more money? But ultimately we come to how can we make more money? Yeah, love it. Brilliant. Some really honest answers here about like monitoring finances. Yeah, like I read my statements every single day. Haven't always done that, but I read my statements every single day. Sometimes I don't like what I see, sometimes I do, but you get what you focus on. What that means is when you look at your statements every day, it makes you aware of the numbers and it helps to take the emotion out of the numbers. Kind of like people that say, oh, I don't weigh myself, I don't get on the scales because I don't like weighing myself. The scales are not what causes the emotion. The emotional spark comes from the association, the two powerful associations to how they feel. I feel shit about that weight. And the scales is fault. It's not the scales' fault. The bank account doesn't lie. If the number's not good, then that's because we haven't created enough income. If the number on the scales is not what we want, we haven't done enough workouts and ate healthy enough to get the body that we want, right? So it's really important that we are aware of maybe where we're kind of holding ourselves back, where we're not being truly, fully honest and transparent with each other. Awesome, some great responses. Brilliant, fantastic. So that is the achievement indicator evaluation. Like I said, you're going to get a copy of that sent over to you tomorrow by a PDF. So I hope you found that useful. When I send it to you, here's what I want you to do. I want you to fill out what you've written on the achievement indicator evaluation, print it off, PDF. I want you to stick it on your fridge or wherever is a place that you're going to see it. And I want you to send me a picture via Messenger or WhatsApp of that on your fridge filled in. And I would like for you to do that within 24 hours if you can. So your key homework for this session is print off the indicator, which you'll get in the morning or later tonight, depending on the system when it sends it out. And then I want you to take a screenshot of it, filled in, stuck on your fridge, so that I know that you've actually done that. And then I want you to leave it there so that you physically have to see it every time you go to the fridge. David says, how often should we do this indicator? In this particular instance, just once, but I want you to have it stuck on your fridge for the foreseeable future. And those of you that are in the program, we'll be redoing it probably every quarter, right? We'll redo that. But I want you to, Tom says Taskmaster, I want you to print that off, stick it somewhere where you can see it, and then it will enable you to focus more intently on making sure that you're taking those actions. Okay, cool. So we're going to play this session as if, for the benefit of those that were not in the original session, with your permission, which I asked for, I just want to give you, and we're going to be wrapping up within 5 or 10 minutes. I just want to, there's some bonuses I'm going to share with you in a second. I just want to kind of now share with you what the next stage is for those of you that are interested, and those of you who have asked about what the next stage is of the program. So, full transparency, the Miles More Motivation Coaching Program looks like this. It's a 12-month program. Month 1 is we look at achievement. We look at how we can dial up your achievement. We have done month 1. Month 2 is about clarity. Obviously, it's vitally important. If you're not clear on where it is you are now and where you're going, it's going to be very difficult for you to get there. So we work on clarity. We also look at motivation, how we can increase your motivation so that you have more drive on a day-to-day basis. We also look at energy. So we're going to look at your health. We're going to look at your what you're eating. We're going to look at your training. We're going to make you more accountable to exercise. We're going to look at your psychology. We're going to make sure that you're doing the right personal development to help you to grow your mind on a daily basis. Relationships. We're going to look at your key relationships. We'll look at the ones that are working well, the ones that are not working well, and the ones that effectively you need to nurture and improve. We're going to make sure you have the tools to do that. We're also going to look at your habits. We're going to make sure that you are eliminating your bad habits and you're introducing more good habits. We're going to make you more productive. We're going to work on your schedule. We're going to make sure that you're using time as effectively as possible, not just in your life and your career and your business, but in your relationships and in your health and with your finances as well. We're going to look at influence. So if you're a business owner or you're a leader in business and you want to be more influential and become better at sales, become better at marketing, become better at speaking, whether that's face-to-face or on camera, we're going to work on that. We're going to look at purpose. We're going to make sure that your goals are fully aligned with your life mission. We're going to make sure that at the end of your life, when you look back, you can look back and go, that's exactly what I wanted to do. Vitally important. And we look at confidence, because how many times in life have you not achieved a goal or not set out to do something just for fear of failure? We're going to make sure you have the right level of confidence to level up and maybe dream bigger. And we're also going to look at planning. We're going to make sure that, like with the productivity matrix, that you have the ultimate planning system so that all the dreams and goals that you've ever wanted to do, there is a time for them and that they are planned into your diary. Here's what Jamie Selby says about the coaching. Jamie said, I was so busy focused on what I didn't want, I forgot what I do want. Life-changing stuff. Cannot wait for our next coaching session. I will be who I want to be. I feel epic. So this is how it works, cutting straight to the point. It's a group coaching session with me live every month. Like tonight, we will go live with me coaching you every single month. As you know, from what we've done tonight, it's not been just me talking to camera. I've actually been interacting with you, engaging with you, coaching you on the comments. So that's going to happen every single month. 12 months of group coaching is a value of £7,997. So that's what you're going to get every single month, a 90-minute group coaching session with me. You're going to get a brand new worksheet every single month. You're going to get a brand new worksheet every single month. So what this means is you're going to have something to fill in so that if somebody says to you, you know, what's that coaching thing that you're doing? You can go, wow, here are all my worksheets from the past 6 months. And you can look at, wow, that's what we did in month 1. Shit, I haven't done that yet. Let's make sure I'm doing it. So those worksheets are designed to make sure that you're physically doing the work. And this is not a webinar, right? This is not a webinar. This is a coaching session designed to make you physically do the work, leave this call tonight and go away and implement what you've learned. So a brand new worksheet you will get every single month. There is an option for you to upgrade your membership and have daily accountability with me. A few people have taken this up already. What this means is if you're the kind of person that says, I love this coaching, but I need someone to make sure that I need someone on my case to make sure that I'm doing it and I'm not just kind of saying, yeah, that was great. And I said I'd stick it on my fridge, but I haven't done it. If you need daily accountability, like you want to send me your actions every single day. Here's what I'm doing today, Miles. Here's what I'm doing today. Here's what I'm doing today. If you want that, you want me to check in with you every single day, daily accountability check-ins worth £3,000. I'll show you the upgraded option in a second. That is priceless. For me, with my coach, I have this factored in, which is why I've included it here, because I know how powerful it is to just have someone on your case to make sure that you're following through every single day. Some of you may need more tailored support. So I have included the option to have one-on-one coaching with me every month. This means that for about 45 to 60 minutes every month, I get on the phone with you and I coach you live. Clients now pay me £1,000 a day for my coaching. So this is an immense amount of value. This is an opportunity for you to kind of come away from the group environment and actually present your individual challenges to me, and I will coach you specifically on your individual challenges. It's great to be in a group environment, but you may say, Miles, I need to go privately with you. I need to talk about this stuff privately. David McGee and I had a coaching session yesterday. He wrote me saying that he's found it profound and has been 2 days ago and has been messaging me saying, oh my God, I did this and this was amazing and blah, blah, blah. So if you feel that you need that, and there's other people I know on the call that have had one-on-ones with me, then that will be the option for you, and that's worth £16,000. Here's what client Resh says about the coaching. He says, there's so many moving and ever-changing components to life, and things can get overwhelming. Our sessions have helped me understand my emotions, make sense of situations, and most importantly, find a route forward. That's what Resh says. Also included in the upper tier of membership is live in-person deep dives every 90 days. Now, I know we have a situation at the moment which may prevent this from happening, but eventually it will happen. And in the meantime, what I'm saying is for the people that enroll in that top level, we will just do an additional coaching session. So instead of it being one coaching session, it will be two. And then when normal life resumes, every 3 months, we will be in a room like this, and I will be coaching you. We'll do some coaching, we'll do some teaching, and it will be a deep dive, live, in-person, intensive, kind of mastermind style boardroom every 3 months, which would be powerful for you to upgrade not only your kind of mentorship and the way that you think, but also your peer group as well. So the total annual value of all of that is £40,775. There is no contract. There is no contract, so you can cancel any time. Even though the program is for 12 months, you don't have to do the 12 months. Obviously, not doing the 12 months is like watching 20% of the movie and then bailing out, right? So, but you can cancel any time. There's no obligation for you to go beyond month one. Like I said already, a portion of sales of revenue goes to Medical Relief International. So your membership is going to a very worthy cause. There is an early bird discount, just to kind of talk you through what this is. So rather than kind of go through it all with you again, which is I've already done that, and I can send this to you. If you do the group level, it's normally going to be £49, but the early bird until the end of March is going to be £29. If you do the group plus level, so that's the group plus the accountability, it's normally going to be £79, but for now it will be £59. And if you do the group plus miles plus mastermind, which is everything, and that will be normally $399, and you're actually going to get that for just $199. So just to clarify, kind of because you're thinking, well, can I afford it? Why should I buy it? Is it worth it? £29 buys you your mobile phone bill every month. So just to show you the value, £59 is Sky TV subscription, and £199 would, if you could leave the house, terrible joke, would buy you 4 dinners out a month with family. All right, so just to kind of put it into context, if you're thinking about, can I afford it? Can I justify it? Putting it into contrast to other things that you may already be spending money with. What I'm going to do for the first 50 people that enroll in the program, is I'm giving you it's actually a 60-minute, I've changed it, 60-minute one-to-one with me worth $997. So that is a bonus for the first 50 people. So the first 50 people, in fact, so go now if you want to do it. In fact, I'll send you the link in a second. First 50 people get a one-on-one with me worth $997. Here's what Steph says. Steph said, thank you so much for the call. I feel like I have so many ideas and I'm so excited to put them into action. You make something that feels quite overwhelming feel very simple and easy to implement. My weekend is going to be full of brainstorming, so thank you for the motivation. So first 50 people, go to milesmoremotivation.com, milesmoremotivation.com. All the options are there. If you need more explanation, everything is on there. First 50 people that enroll in whichever level. Some people said, does it matter which level I do to get the bonus? No, it doesn't matter. 29, 59, 199, whichever level, you get the one-on-one bonus. If you do the 199 level, then you get additional coaching session on top of the ones that you get in the 199. Frequently asked questions. How do I know this is right for me? I always say when you've got decisions like this, go with your gut. Your brain will be telling you, maybe, I need to think about it. I'm not sure. Can I afford it? If your brain is telling you to think about it or don't do it now, then if your gut is telling you you should do it, I always say go with your gut. So if your brain says don't do something and your gut says don't do something, don't do it. If your brain says don't do it, but your gut says, but I want to, then do it. How do I know it will work for me? Well, the key thing with coaching is you get what you put in. If you filled in the answers tonight, if you fill in the worksheet, you will get results because you'll be psychologically forced to focus on what you want. You'll be forced to do the work because you'll have filled it in and you've made a mental commitment to yourself to do it. How can I be certain I'll get my money's worth? Well, we've already contrasted this to other things. There are things right now that, frankly, you can't spend money on, like going out and spending money on nights out, etc. So while you're in the house, now is the best time for you to reinvest in yourself and make sure you're upgrading your mindset. What if now isn't the right time? Well, I would say truly, when is the better time for you to upgrade yourself? You've come here to learn and grow. Then what's now preventing you from doing the next step? Well, nothing other than your mind telling you that you're not sure if you need to take the next step. So that's, again, on you. I'm not sure I can afford it. The lowest level at £29 has been designed with all the love in my heart. I believe that everybody can afford to do that. And if you feel you can't, there's probably things in your life, if you looked at your statements, you go, do you know what? I could sacrifice that to do this if you feel that this is going to provide you with what you truly know you need. All right. So first 50 people, go to milesmoremotivation.com and you'll get the one-to-one with me in March, or we're coming up to the end of March now, so it may drag into April. That's not a problem. Get the one-to-one with me. So first, go now, milesmoremotivation.com, get yourself enrolled, open a different tab, and it will take you to the payment links. We're probably almost out of time for the Q&A, but I would like to open this up now for a Q&A. So what questions do you have? So now is a good chance for us to just kind of open up the floor to have questions. So if you have questions, ask your questions now. David has asked, how often should we do this indicator? Well, the key thing is that you want to make sure that you do it at least once, and that is your first step, right? So make sure you do it at least once. That is your first step. There are other questions. I think I had some questions that came in. Let me see if I can find my journal with the questions. I did have some questions that came in. Paula says, what do I do if I don't have people around me that are entrepreneurs like me? Well, for me, the key is to go back to what I said earlier about upgrading your friends. If you don't have people that are around you that are like you, if I think back to going back 12, 15 years, I didn't have friends around me that were entrepreneurial. I had a lot of friends that were great for going out and partying, but I didn't have entrepreneurs around me. So what I decided to do was to start going to seminars and workshops and courses and spending time with people who were like me, right? And then all of a sudden, as if almost by magic, I had this group of friends around me that were all entrepreneurial and that were interested in speaking and growing businesses and Facebook Lives and reading and have you watched this course and have you been to this seminar? Are you going to this? And all of a sudden my weekends went from being out and partying to attending 3-day business conferences with friends. So for me, Paula, that's the best advice I can give you is keep the friends you've got if they're good friends, but it's so important. Yeah, David said, I need another commando in my unit. Yeah, you do. Like, reach up for new friends. Like, this is not about just accumulating friends, like, for the sake of it. However, the more quality people, the more powerful conversations you have, the more you're going to expand and grow. The more you're going to expand and grow. So, like I said, those of you that are in the program, you know that the next session, ignore the date, is actually April the 15th. I think let me just check that that's what I did say. I'm pretty sure I said April the 15th. Can you let me know if I said that? Yeah, I did. April the 15th, Wednesday, April the 15th, 7 p.m. Those of you that are in the program, once you're in the program, you will get access to that link. That'll be a private link because that is a members area. But yeah, those of you that are in, that will be the date for the next call. So that was the achievement indicator. So that is it. That's what you'll get. I'll send that over to you all later this evening or tomorrow. So you'll get the actual sheet that you can fill in. And feel free to share that. Like, I have no problem with you sending that out. I'm not one of those people that's funny about kind of copywriting. I would love this distributed and shared out. I'd love more people to know about this. So there you go. There's the offer. Those of you that enroll before the end of March, it's $29.59 or $199. And like I said, first 50 get a 60-minute one-to-one with me worth $997. So that is literally it, folks. That is it. Go to milesmoremotivation.com. First 50 people get the one-to-one with me. That is the end of the session. I hope you have enjoyed it. It's been my absolute pleasure. And any questions, drop me an email and or message on Facebook, whatever works for you. But those of you that are ready, that you feel that in your gut it's telling you to do this, get yourself enrolled, and I will see you in the program. That's it. Good night. See you soon. Take care. She told me to